Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the campus of Pearl River Community College, where tonight the annual cat fight is upon us. It's the Jones County Bobcats against your Pearl River Wildcats here at Dobie Holden Stadium. David Sutton with you tonight to bring you the play-by-play action, sliding into the Kelly Sanders captain's chair, so to speak, as Kelly the Sandman is up in Nashville, Tennessee at a engagement. He'll be back with us next week as we start the Saturday portion of the Pearl River Wildcat schedule. Yes, this is the final Thursday night game of the season for Pearl River. In fact, when you look down the schedule tonight, actually the first Saturday game in the MacJack is going to occur this week up at Coahoma as they have their homecoming festivities up at Coahoma as they were looking for their first win of the season. And they host Hines, which was last week's opponent for these Pearl River Wildcats. A game, again, that was very reminiscent for Pearl River of the week before. A game where the Wildcats got behind in the first half and were down substantially at the half, and then the defense really dug its heels in the second half. 2 consecutive weeks the Wildcat defense has pitched a shutout. I talked to Coach Egger about that before the game. I said, hey, you got to be happy with a couple of shutouts in the second half by your defense, even though you came up on the short end. He said, yeah. He said, well, you could say that, but the reason that we were on the short end is because the defense didn't play that well in the first half. And so in the pregame defensive meeting, it was stressed over and over again. You don't have to have been at all of the practices during the course of the week. The Pearl River Wildcats are looking for 4 quarters of football. That phrase resonated in the Pearl River locker room before the ball game. They are looking for 4 quarters of football in a row. And I don't mean to be sarcastic. You look back at this season, and of course, if you could just wipe the Colin game out, because that was the only consistent 4 quarters the Wildcats played, actually, and they were ones that they would rather forget. Just nothing went right for Pearl River. But in the other 4 ball games, this Wildcat football team in the first half, on the first 2 games we'll talk about, was the good half, and then the second half in the last 2 games. But against Itawamba in the opener, they have a 20-point lead at the half and come up just short in a 34-30 loss. And then against East Mississippi, the #1 team in the nation, Pearl River basically traded punches with the best team in the land in a 14-8 matchup heading into the half. And then the next thing you know, the second half just completely gets away from them. The last 2 weeks have been opposite. The East Central Warriors got out to a 24-3 lead at the half against the Wildcats, and Pearl River dominated the second half, both offensively and defensively, but came up just 1 drive short in a 24-21 game. And then last week again, another shutout pitched by the defense. The offense moved the ball pretty much at will between the 20s, but couldn't punch in enough points as they fell last week to Hines, 28-18. So this on this breast cancer awareness night here at Pearl River, of course, the month of October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I think we've all gotten used to, especially with football being the dominant sport during the month of October, a lot of pink being worn not only by the fans, but you'll see it on the players as well with socks and wristbands, and Coach Ted Egger himself with a Never Give Up shirt in a bright pink variety that he was wearing. Now, at least he was wearing it in the locker room. I'm assuming he's going to come out of the locker room with that on. But obviously, honoring breast cancer survivors, breast cancer folks that have passed on, remembering them as well, as that's a disease that has absolutely affected almost a very small amount of the population probably either has not been directly or indirectly affected by that. So that's the theme of tonight's football game. Again, the Wildcats and Bobcats come into this game in 2 separate spots, unfortunately, in the South Division, as Jones comes in with a perfect South Division record, 3-0 on the season, only 1 loss in their overall record coming into tonight's game. They are the 7th ranked team in the country, and so they are trying to move their way up the national polls. But a win tonight over Pearl River is very important because they've got a couple of big ball games left on their division schedule against Colin and East Central. Those are the other two undefeated teams in the South Division. That's who's left on the schedule for Jones. And so this is a game that they absolutely cannot afford to let get away from them if they want to kind of hold their own destiny going in the last 2 weeks for one of those two coveted playoff spots. On the other hand, the Wildcats, a big game for them as well. They want to get a win on the board, obviously, and this is a situation where the Wildcats have, as I spoke before, they have had multiple opportunities, especially against East Central and against Itawamba, where they seem to have, they had a game in the first half against Itawamba, let it slip away, and then at East Central, despite trailing throughout the entire ball game, they did everything but win that game in the second half. I mean, the momentum was on their side. The defense was playing inspired football, creating turnovers, and again, pitching the shutout. The offense came to play, putting 18 points on the board, got down into East Central territory, but when the Warriors needed it, they came up with the stop that they needed late in that ball game and kept not only Pearl River away from trying a game-tying field goal, but obviously kept them out of the end zone from scoring a touchdown. This Jones County football team, again, as I said, comes in as the 7th-ranked team in the country, and they are a balanced offense, to say the least. 363 yards of total offense coming in to tonight's ball game. 173 on the ground, 194 through the air. I mean, you put 10 yards of that passing on the running and you'd have it dead even, and 32.4 points a game. So not only moving the football well, but cashing them in 4 points as well. On the flip side, on their defense has bent but not broken, that actually only giving up half the amount of points that they're scoring. So 32.5 points scoring on offense, but only 16.5 points given up on defense. For Pearl River, they come in averaging 314 yards a game, 185 on the ground, only 129 through the air. But still, you look at the total yardage, there's only about 45 to 49 yards difference there of total yards between the top team in the division and the bottom team of the division. But it's what you're doing with those drives. Pearl River comes in averaging only 15.8 points a game, and that was their major problem last week in the second half. They moved the football efficiently, but once they got down into scoring range toward the red zone, they just were not able to capitalize and get the ball in the end zone, and that was the difference in the game against Hines on the road. They gave the Eagles all they could handle, but they came up short in a 28-18 loss. Jones County won the toss, but elected to defer. So the Wildcats will receive the opening kickoff and move left to right on your computer screen, smart device, or tablet. Glad you're with us here on prccmedia.com as we're about ready to have some catfight football. Jones County and Pearl River about to be underway. And again, for those of us, I know a lot of you popping in and out on the stream, and we'll remind folks as the game goes along, because they'll be wondering, where's Kelly at? Kelly's going to be back next week. He just had a prior engagement out of state that he's at tonight, and the Sandman told me he's going to be listening to tonight's ball game via prccmedia.com. And so we hope Kelly has a good event that he's hosting tonight, and we miss him, and we hope he'll get back as soon as possible so we can have him next week as the Wildcats hit the road to take on Southwest next week. Again, this is the last Thursday night edition of Pearl River football here on prccmedia.com. Yeah, all three of their final games will be on they'll be on Saturdays, 2 of them on the road, and 1 of them will be their own homecoming game. So Pearl River will participate in 3 homecoming games coming up. 1 against Southwest, then their own homecoming game 2 weeks from now here at Dobie Holden Stadium, and then their final game of the year will be against Mississippi Delta on the road in Clarksdale. Here come the Wildcats. For those, you can see all the pink on the socks and a lot of wristbands as well, as the Wildcats having breast cancer awareness night here at Dobie Holden Stadium. On the Anderson's Design Center scoreboard, of course, we'll keep you up to date with all of the action, but there's one game in particular that everyone, really not only in the state of Mississippi, but in the country will be watching. A 6:30 kickoff, so about 30 minutes behind our kickoff here in Poplarville. It's the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country at Northwest Community College. East Mississippi, number 1, 5-0 and 2-0. against Northwest, 5-0 and 2-0, the number 2 team in the country. So that will be an epic battle, and we'll be watching that one all night long. Itawamba is on the road facing the number 18 team in the country, Holmes. Colin takes on East Central in a key South Division matchup. All of those games kick off at 6:30. Then the 7 o'clock starts will be Delta at Northwest and Gulf Coast taking on Southwest over in Summit. Ready to kick things away and get underway here at Dobie Holden. Christopher Thompson gets a foot into it. It's a low knuckling liner that hits at the 10. Fielded now by KJ Breland. Here he comes back to the 20. He stopped up, though, that forward momentum right at the 20-yard line, and that's about, we'll see where they spot him. It actually looks like they're going to start him at the 18-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will start 1st and 10 on their first possession of the night. One of the things, of course, that's the receiving part of the kick team, but Coach Ted Egger talked about that of last week's loss to Hines. They have made some changes in their kick coverage, and we'll have to watch that as the game rolls along. Last week, that was one of the keys to victory for Hines, as they were able to notch just under 150 yards returning the football on kickoffs against Pearl River. So Tavis Williams gets ready to start things off. He calls for the ball. He gives it to his running back, Ron Thompson. He's got some room already on the outside. 25, and he's tackled right around the first down marker, but a nice start for the number 2 rushing running back in the state. A 9-yard pickup just short of the first down. Tackle made at the 27-yard line. First down run of 9 yards, and that's a good way to start the ball game for Pearl River. It'll be 2nd down and 1. Ron Thompson on the season, 538 yards rushing on 84 carries. The number 1 rusher in the Mac Jack. Oh, and there's a break. A run at the 50, at the 40. It's a foot race. Ron Thompson trying to outrun the defensive back. Can't quite do it, but he's tackled in the red burrito, red zone at the 12-yard line. A quick hitter up the middle, and it almost a home run for Ron Thompson as we are in the playoffs in the major leagues. Well, Ron Thompson swung for the fences on that one. A 61-yard run, in the Wildcats in 2 plays are in the red burrito red zone as they hustle to the line. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. 2 big Ron Thompson runs. Why not give it to him again? Up the middle this time, not as much room as he falls forward to about the 11-yard line. But what a start for Ron Thompson. This drive starting all the way back on the Wildcat 18-yard line as we have a Bobcat down on the field. We have an official's timeout, but all the way back on the 18-yard line, and now at the 11 of Jones. Thompson, 3 carries for 71 yards, and this is the start that the Pearl River Wildcats so desperately wanted to get off to, especially after the last 2 weeks falling behind in that first half. And really, you could go back to the Colin game. It's one of those things where you almost want to just wipe that game out of your memory because everything didn't go the Wildcats' way over in Weston a couple of weeks ago. But Colin got out to a big lead in the first half. We talked about the East Central lead 2 weeks ago, then last week at Hines, but now it's Pearl River with a chance to strike first. 2nd down, 9, ball rest on the 11-yard line. Back to Williams, looks right, going to throw right, and Ron Thompson makes a one-handed grab, and honestly, that was a backwards pass. A great catch by Ron Thompson, because if he doesn't reel it in, that ball's alive. That's the good news. The bad news is that the ball goes all the way back to the 22-yard line. So an 11-yard loss on what actually is counted as a running play because it was a lateral. So now 3rd down and 21 from the 22. The Wildcats could get a first down right around the 1-yard line. Looking, going to throw toward the end zone, and the only person with a chance at that was Jonathan Haynes, the sophomore defensive back for Jones. And so decision time, well, maybe not decision time. Hang on, we've got our first flag of the evening on the field. Again, glad you're with us here. Just underway, 12:55 to go, first quarter in the annual cat fight here from Dobie Holden Stadium. The penalty is declined. They actually said the penalty was against Jones, but I don't believe it was. I believe that was against Pearl River because the penalty was declined. So no decision to be made here. Field goal unit coming on. The ball will rest right at the 29-yard line. So Will Lang, who has hit a 40-yarder this season, 3 of 4 on the year from the right hash mark, will try to get the Wildcats on the board. Snap back, kick down, and it's a knuckleball that's going to go low and to the left. So if you didn't listen to last week's game, folks, this is kind of a continuation, unfortunately. The Wildcats move the football, get into the Red Burrito red zone, but don't put any points on the board. So here comes the Jones offense for their first opportunity of the night. Give the Jones defense some credit right there. After giving up 3 carries for 71 yards to Ron Thompson, they buckled down and were able to hold the Wildcats off the scoreboard. And in fact, that big 11-yard loss may have pushed the Wildcats out of field goal range. First carry coming to the near side, hit immediately and dropped as maybe a couple of yards forward for Kalen Granberry, the state's leading rusher. Comes in with 581 yards, so about 43 yards ahead of Ron Thompson coming in, but now with that 60 yards on on the first possession, Ron Thompson is back in front. So these two battling back and forth as there's a flag down for the rushing title in the MAC Jack. A whistle blown. And a timeout is called by Pearl River. So Pearl River uses its first timeout. We'll take one with them early, a 30-second break. We'll be back here. It'll be 2nd down and 8 in the annual cat fight here. Still 12:19 to go first quarter here on PRCCmedia.com.
It's another exciting year as we support the Golden Eagle team.
We're all in for Southern Miss football.
How about you? You'll find the best teams for customer service and price at Pine Belt Chevrolet, Courtesy Ford, and Pine Belt Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. From tough trucks to your favorite SUVs.
Second down and 8. David Sutton here sitting in Kelly Sanders' chair, bringing tonight's play-by-play action in the annual cat fight between Jones and Pearl River. A handoff over the right side of the line of scrimmage. Gets the ball up to around the 28-yard line. 3rd down and about 4 as Granberry gets the first 2 carries of the night. It's a 1-2 punch on the rushing attack for Jones, and literally that's it. There is no third swing. It's Kalen Granberry and Dante Edwards. Nobody else on Jones's offense has more than 7 yards rushing. Granberry leads the league at 581. Edwards with 293. 3rd down and 4. Wildcats looking to get a 3 and out. Going to throw a little screen out to the right side. Granberry's got it. He's trying to get up to the first down, but a great tackle right at the sticks. Looks like it's going to have him short. What a nice stop there by the Wildcat defense. Looks like Daryl Sims, the freshman linebacker, makes the stop, and he forces the punting unit to come on. Granberry, who only had a couple of receptions coming into the ball game, and there's a fake. Try to fake it here, and it's hit up at the line of scrimmage, barreling forward right at the line to gain. They snap it to the short man up, and he's able to pick up the yard to the yard and a half that he needed. Fred Peters, the up back, takes the quick snap on the punting formation, and Jones, how about Coach Buckley rolling the dice early? Fred Peters takes the short snap. He needed a yard. He only got 2, but that's enough to keep the drive alive on a 4th down conversion. So 1st and 10 for Jones as they continue their drive here on this opening possession. There's a flag down, pre-snap penalty, and it's a false start. Looks like it's going to come against Jones. So that's the first penalty marked off of the night. Stetson Bennett, the starting quarterback for Jones. Coach Egger told me before the game, just kept describing him as efficient, efficient, efficient. Will not, well, I don't say cannot, but he just hasn't thrown the ball down the field. The Wildcats emphasizing that they want to cover the slant patterns and short routes, that they just don't think that Stetson will beat them deep. Another give as it's another running play, the 5th consecutive running play of this possession. May have gotten 3 of the 5 yards back, did Granberry right there. It'll be 2nd down and 12 as the Bobcats stay behind the sticks thanks to the 5-yard false start penalty.
Second down, about 12 to go.
So Granberry, on every offensive play, has gotten his hands on the football. 3 runs and a catch. The only time he didn't get his hands on the ball was on the fake punt. So 2nd down and 12. Ball rests on the 31-yard line. Inside of 10 minutes to go. First quarter, no score. First possession for Jones. Throw to the near side. Catch is made, and there's that efficiency right there. That was just, it was a short out route, and it was a perfectly placed pass to Emmanuel Jones. So needed 12 and basically got half of it right there. So 6 yards on the reception. Bennett's hit his first 2 throws of the night, but only for 9 yards. He comes in 71 of 124, but 710 yards passing. Has thrown for 7 touchdowns. Lots of 7s there, and that's a lucky number normally. 3rd down and 6. Wildcat defense trying to get off the field again. They thought they did a moment ago. Throw to the right side. It's tipped and almost intercepted by the Wildcats, but they do get the incompletion, and this time I would imagine the punting unit's going to come on and actually punt the football away. But a nice job by the Wildcat defensive back. Just talked about that a moment ago. There's the little in routes, the slant routes. The Wildcats are going to jump those routes as many times as they can tonight and see if they can force Stetson Bennett to throw the ball down the field. On his first 3 attempts, all of them have been short passes. His first incompletion of the night forces the punt. Snap back, and the punt is almost blocked, but boy, it is a beauty. A high spiral, hits at the 15, bounces inside the 10, nearly hits. Ooh, that was close. It nearly hit. I believe that was, is that Eli Stringfellow? Yeah, that was Eli Stringfellow. I'm not used to seeing him back receiving punts. That ball bounced at the 15 and took a left turn and went between Stringfellow's legs. Had it grazed him at all, that ball would have been alive. But in the end, no harm, no foul. But it is bad field position for Pearl River on a spectacular punt. All the way back to the 8-yard line, Greg Hayden. That ends up, I was doing my math, that was on a 60-yard punt with no return. The give is in the backfield. No, they faked the give. Look at that. Read option worked to perfection. Fooled me and fooled Jones as well. Tavis Williams fakes the give to the tailback Ron Thompson and takes it up to the 21-yard line. What a nice 13-yard run to get the Wildcats out of trouble, and it's a first down for Pearl River. Boy, Pearl River already with 73 yards rushing the football. We hadn't even played a half of a quarter yet. I'll try to run it again, but we have a whistle blown. That will stop play. The near side line judge stopping play and blowing the whistle. Those dead ball penalties almost inevitably always go against the offense, and it is a false start. So both teams have traded false start penalties, and both of them on first down. So it's a 1st and 15 as the ball is walked back to the 16-yard line of Pearl River. 8:15 left to go first quarter, no score. Wildcats drove it, if you joined us late, all the way into the Red Burrito red zone on the first possession, but missed a 39-yard field goal. Rolling to his right, looking, going to make a short pass. It's complete, up around the 20. That's Hayden Bryce with the completion. Back up almost to the original line of scrimmage. In fact, it's dead on it, basically. So we'll call it actually 2nd and 9, a 6-yard pickup, as Tavis Williams really had a good week throwing the football last week. He came into the game last week against Hines with only 11 completions on the season. He completed 17. in last week's game alone, as the Wildcats put a little bit more in on the passing game. Read option, trying to get back outside, just like on the first play from the scrimmage on this possession. But this time, Jones was up to the task as they were able to tackle Tavis Williams. He was trying to get outside that defense of Jones, but only was able to get up to the 23-yard line. So a pickup of a yard, 3rd down and long coming up. It's 3rd and 8. And the Wildcats got a couple of big runs from Ron Thompson in their first possession. Hasn't seen it on this one yet. 3rd and 8. Fake the give to him, back to throw. Looking right, going to throw deep down the right sideline, trying to hit a big play and just out of the reach of his intended receiver, Tyler Polk, up around the 45-yard line of Jones. And that will bring on the punting unit for Pearl River for the first time tonight.
Number 36, William Lane, in the punt for the Wildcats.
First possession for Pearl River ended in a missed field goal. So both teams sending their special teams out. And Will Lang will come on to punt it away. The Wildcats are missing someone. They're yelling for an 11th player. They've only got 10, and they may have to burn their second time out. Here comes. And actually, with only one, they're going to take the delay penalty. So Coach Ted Egger, he saw what was happening in the sense that they were short a player. But he looked over at the play clock and saw it down to 6 and decided he put his hand up and said, hold it, don't call a timeout. He would rather give up the 5 yards there and keep that timeout for later in the half, as again, they've already burned one. So now the snap back. Kick is on the way. It's off the side of his foot, but it does get a little bit of some distance to it as it hits around the 43-yard line, and it's fielded at the 48-yard line. So in the end, about a 29-yard punt for Pearl River right there, but the two punters switching field positions essentially. Remember, Jones punted it from their own 38-yard line and knocked it all the way down to Pearl River's 8. And so now starting in Pearl River territory is the number 7 team in the country. 2 backs in the backfield with the quarterback Stetson Bennett, one directly behind him like a pistol formation, one to his right. He's going to give it to that deep tailback, trying to find some room, but nothing there as Pearl River had that one sniffed out. First carry of the night for Dante Edwards. No gain on the play. This Pearl River defense, remember, they've gotten off to slow starts over the last 3 weeks for sure, but this is a much better start than what we've seen over the past few games. And as they're now pitching the first half shutout so far, trying to keep that going. Give it to the tailback again. He's ducking and diving his way forward, up about 4 yards on the carry for Dante Edwards as the ball rests on the 44-yard line, maybe the 43. Actually, we'll give him 5 when it's all said and done, with a pretty good spot for the Bobcats right there. So here we go again, another 3rd down conversion attempt for Jones. They actually are 0 for 2 so far, but remember, they went for it on 4th down on a fake punt to get their only 1st down in the contest so far. Inside of 6 minutes left to go, first quarter. So in the shotgun, directing some traffic a little bit in the backfield is Bennett. Now he sends his tailback in motion. He looks toward him. Now he's going to fire. There's that slant. It's caught right at the sticks. Where will they spot it? Boy, if they spot it from the far side referee has it short. The near side referee is saying move the sticks. This is so close. Actually, boy, this is some sort of standoff right here. The far side referee spots the ball, tells the spotter where to put it, and then he signals 4th down. The near side referee whistles a stoppage of play, and it looks like he is actually saying to move the football forward and give them the 1st down. Boy, this is an interesting little meeting between the men in stripes. The far side official marked him short. Not by much. they obviously would go for it as it's inside the 39-yard line. They're not even going to measure it. Wow. So no measurement there. They're going to say it's short. So once again, if Jones is going to convert, they're going to have to do it on a 4th down conversion, quickly to the line, trying to catch Pearl River, and they give it to the tailback, and he's going to bust his way forward. Not a lot there, but he got enough. Only needed about a half a yard, a pickup of 2 on the carry for Dante Edwards, and it's a Jones first down. So the Jones offense hasn't blown the Wildcat defense away, but 2 4th down conversions, of all things, have moved the sticks a couple of times. And with this drive starting inside Pearl River territory, Jones is meandering its way down into scoring range. 1st and 10 from the 36. Fake the give, play action, going to roll to the near side. Looking, going to throw back across the field. He's got his man, but he dropped it. Dropped pass by Gabe Douglas, and Douglas had some room to roam. Boy, a really well-designed play by the Jones Bobcats. And that play throwing back across the field, but to a streaking Gabe Douglas on a crossing route. If he makes that catch, that's going to be a big pickup. Good break for the Bobcats right there. Excuse me, the Wildcats right there, I should say. It's 2nd down and 10. Again, the ball at the 36-yard line. Bennett going to give to his tailback. The ball's on the ground. He dives forward. He was able to get back on top of it, but the ball hitting the ground as Dante Edwards dropped the handoff attempt from Bennett. Looked like it was right in his stomach. Looked like Edwards, again from our vantage point, just kind of was looking forward and didn't look it into his breadbasket there. And so now a 3rd and long situation for Jones, 3rd and 11. You figure if they get anything on this play that might be short of the 1st down, they might go for it on 4th again. Well, the Wildcats showing blitz, now coming with the blitz, trying to get it out of the hands of the quarterback. They do, but it's complete at the 30-yard line, cutting it back inside and getting near, and he gets the 1st down. What a catch and run for the Bobcats right there. Needed 11 and got 12. That looks like, is that Dante Edwards on the catch right there? Back to throw is Bennett, looking, going to throw it. It should have been and was not intercepted. Oh, the Wildcats with a chance at the turnover right there. And we get a timeout from the officials. Boy, Steve Buckley ran out onto the field. There was something he didn't like. I don't know if it was the pass itself. Holding against Pearl River. So Pearl River caught for holding on defense, and that's going to move the ball 10 yards and move the sticks once again. It's another Bobcat 1st down. Boy, that big 3rd and 11 conversion might be what we're looking back on here in a few moments as the key to the first score of the ball game. 2nd penalty assessed against Pearl River. Looking to throw, looking right, throwing right, fade pattern, corner of the end zone up, and the catch is made for the touchdown, and Jones is on the board. Perfectly placed pass from Bennett into the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. So on to try the extra point to give Jones the full 7-point lead is Christopher Thompson. Thompson 19 of 21 on the season. Snap is good, kick is on the way, and it is good as well. So 3:45 left to go. Jones converts a 3rd and 11, and then with a holding penalty right afterwards, they're able to throw a 16-yard pass into the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. It's Jones 7, Pearl River nothing. Back after this on prccmedia.com.
We want to thank you for quickly making Pine Belt Chevrolet one of the area's biggest dealerships. We're selling a lot of vehicles because you're finding out the best price and best service are right here. And during Truck Month, you get 18% off all 2018 Silverado 1500s, plus 90-day deferred payment, and 14% off all 2018 Tahoes, or choose from a big selection of certified pre-owned. New Pine Belt Chevrolet, Highway 98 West at Bellevue. Count on it.
So the number 7 team in the country strikes first as Jones College. Yeah, they're not JC anymore. They cut half those J's and C's out. Jones College with the 16-yard touchdown pass from Bennett to Douglas, and they're up 7-0. Little pop-up pooch kick fielded around the 15-yard line. Chance for a return here at the 20, trying to get to the near side, but not a lot of room there. As fighting forward, though, boy, the whistle not blowing, and in the end, that actually gets near the 30-yard line. So a nice job on the return right there. It looked like Juan Nelson on the return. It was Juan Nelson on the return, so there have been a few changes on the kick return teams here. We haven't seen the Wildcats kick off yet, but some changes Coach Ted Egger said were made there as well. 3:34 to go first quarter. Wildcats now trailing by a score of 7-0. So the good field position and the fourth down conversion, a lot happening on that last drive for Jones, but they're able to use all of that to score a touchdown. First play, I should say, as a carry to Ron Thompson. And Thompson, after breaking a couple of big ones on the first possession, only gets a yard right there. It'll be 2nd down and 9 as the ball rests on the 30-yard line of Pearl River, approaching the 3-minute mark left to go first quarter. Again, Jones trying to stay perfect in the South Division and really put themselves in great shape, probably needing to split their last 2 ball games to secure one of those 2 playoff berths. Thompson in motion to the far side where 3 receivers are going to try to set up the screen to Ron Thompson. He comes into about the 35 up to the 36-yard line. Nicely set up play by offensive coordinator Ryan Trevathan. The ball picks, picks up about 6. The ball placed at the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 coming up for the Wildcats as they try to answer the score put on the board just a moment ago by Jones. Thompson, that's his 8th reception on the season. Hard count try by Williams. The Bobcats don't bite. Still 8 on the play clock. Now back ready for action. This clap will be a snap, and there it is. Looking right, got a man wide open down the middle, and he missed him. That was a touchdown. There's no other way to describe it. Tavis Williams just over the outstretched arms of Justin Mary, who went right down the hash marks on the near side uncovered. Oh, well, there's a lot of plays like that. It just kind of takes your breath away as you're wanting. The Wildcats are missing opportunities. That would have been a 64-yard touchdown. He could have walked it into the end zone from 35 yards out. There was nobody within 20 yards of Justin Mary. Punted away. Ball hits at the 40 and takes a really nice hop. Actually could have bounded out of bounds there as it was near the Pearl River sidelines, but instead took a left turn and goes all the way down to the 27-yard line. So the Wildcats got 13 extra yards out of the deal on that one, and Jones will take over back around its 27-yard line. That was a 37-yard punt and no return. Man, just looking back on that play for Justin Mary, perfectly drawn up play, completely forgotten, and the ball was just overthrown by about couldn't have been more than a half a yard. New quarterback in the ball game, and they'll do the little Texas pitch forward, trying to get around the far side and getting around the far side. Nice job there by Emmanuel Jones. Fred Barnum. They do rotate in a couple of quarterbacks, Bennett and Barnum. Barnum now probably mostly on the back of passes like that, because that's considered a pass. When you toss it forward in any way, shape, or form, it's a pass. And coming into the ball game, we'll give you his stats in a moment, almost perfect on the season. Give to the near side, there's some room. Running hard is the leading rusher in the MAC Jack Kalen Granberry, he gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line, about a yard short of a first down after the 5-yard pickup. It'll be third down and about 1, and quickly to the line comes Jones as they really trying to hustle up. Will they quick snap it? They do quick snap it, and they give. No, they fake the give. Quarterback keeper, and Bennett runs for a first down, and that is a surprise. I told you earlier that after you get past the top 2 tailbacks, Barnum, by the way, is the 3rd leading rusher on the team with 7 yards. 7. He got 5 on that one. It's a first down. So that is one that would fake you out when a quarterback's played 5 ball games and only carried it 3 times for 7 yards. You would think that he's going to give it to the tailback. So 1st and 10 Jones at the 42-yard line. Pistol formation, back to throw, looking, going to throw short to the near side. Good job by Pearl River, reading that one all the way. Again, Pearl River is going to press coverage as they just don't feel that either one of these quarterbacks will throw the ball down the field. The flare out of the backfield goes for a 4-yard loss on the play. So the 4 yards that Barnum picked up on his first completion, lost on that. It's 2nd down and 14. It's the 2nd completion to a tailback in this ball game by Pearl River. As the clock runs out, those 2 completions have gone backwards. So the Wildcats play a tough first quarter of play, but it was the short field, 4th down conversion, a holding penalty, all kinds of stuff happening for Jones that led to their first and only score of the ball game. It's Jones County 7, Pearl River nothing. 1 quarter in the books. We'll be back with the start of the 2nd quarter in just a moment here on PRCCmedia.com.
Get treated like family at the Poplarville Eye Clinic. Poplarville Eye Clinic can take care of your basic exam needs, and their professional staff treats dry eyes, allergy issues, pink eye, and glaucoma problems. Poplarville Eye Clinic offers pediatric exams and can fit regular and specialty contacts. Need glasses? Pick from brands like Ray-Ban, Coach, Nike, and Guess. Book your own appointment on their Facebook page or stop by 1249 South Main Street in Poplarville. Call 601-795-0137.
First play of the 2nd quarter. Jones ahead of Pearl River 7-0. It's Jones football at their own 38-yard line. 2nd down and 14, though, after a really good defensive play by Pearl River just a moment ago. They will give it forward to the streaking wide receiver. I guess that was more of a handoff right there. I don't know if he pitched that one forward. Gabe Douglas. Now they're going to call that a reception. So we'll call it a reception too. So they pick up the 4 yards they lost on first down. It's 3rd down and 10. I was going to tell you, Barham coming into the ball game a moment ago, and then the quarter ended on me. 22 of 26 on the year for 241 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. That's not a bad change of pace from your starting quarterback. Back to throw again, looking down the field, but he's going to tuck it, and the Wildcats have him. Again, the Wildcats cover the short guys, allow the deep men to go on one-on-one coverage, and Jones doesn't pull the trigger. And a great job by Jamarick Waller, the defensive lineman out of Poplarville, Mississippi. Hopefully his friends and family made the trip over to Dobie Holden Stadium, because Waller with the big sack right there. It's a 5-yard loss, and the punting unit comes on for Jones. Jones starts out in that tight formation, then they spread you out. A great punt last time, and here's another one up. Good hang time, not quite as far. Fair catch signaled and made. Good job coming all the way up from back at the 15-yard line is Eli Stringfellow to haul that in around the 30-yard line. And so what was a 60-yard punt on his last attempt, this time only a 36-yard punt, more of a normal human type attempt. And the Wildcats with some pretty good field position in their first possession of the 2nd quarter, trailing at 7-0, 13:46 left to go. Wildcats outgained Jones in the first quarter, 86-63. But of course, on the scoreboard where it counts, they trail at 7-0. See if they can get some points on the board here. Fake the give, quick throw out to the near side, in and out of the hands of his receiver. incomplete. KJ Breland. Check that. That was Keontae Payton. Payton couldn't reel it in. It's 2nd down and 10. Ron Thompson in that first quarter, 61 yards rushing on 5 carries, but most of them came on 1 run. 2nd and 10. They'll fake the give. Now looking. Williams is going to tuck it, and he's in trouble. And he just dives forward, and he loses a yard. That'll actually go down, I believe, as a sack of the quarterback. So a couple of plays, 1 yard lost on this possession. It'll be 3rd down now for the Wildcats as they are trying to avoid a quick 3-and-out here. Annual cat fight here on PRCCmedia.com. While we have a chance, give you a different number for our roll call of listeners out there, 601-549-1349, 601-549-1349. Text us and let us know where you're listening from here on PRCCmedia.com. Back to throw. Going to do a little bit of, looks like more of a wheel route right there, but it's incomplete. It was well covered, actually, when it was all said and done. Jonathan Haynes. Haynes has been on a couple of defended passes now in this ball game against Pearl River. It goes incomplete, and the punting unit will have to come back on. So Williams, after having a really efficient night throwing the football last week at Hines, 17 of 24 to be exact, after completing his first pass, he's missed on 4 of his last 5. He's 2 for 6. Snap back, it's a good one. Low liner, but it's returnable only if it's caught over the head of the return man, who now tracks it down at the 21-yard line and actually does a pretty good job of getting it back up 8 yards. Went over the head of Emmanuel Jones as Jones was up around the 35-yard line, and the next thing you know, that ball was flying over his head. Good job there on the punt by Will Lang. A 50-yarder, actually, with an 8-yard return, so a 42-yard net, but a 50-yard punt as Will Lang put a charge into that one. 1st and 10 Jones at their own 29-yard line, leading 7-0, 12:42 to go first half. What Pearl River looks like and is bringing pressure. Going to go one-on-one down the sideline, and that pass is incomplete and no flag. That's the old thankful no flag. Darrell Luter getting credit for the good defense, but there was some contact early. The Wildcats may have gotten a break right there. In fact, I'm going to say they did get a break. It's 2nd and 10. Pearl River's defense, except for that one drive, and again, on that drive, if you weren't with us in the first quarter, started in Pearl River territory, had to have a 4th down conversion to keep it going, but ended in a touchdown for Jones. Give to the tailback, boy, and a hand up around the face mask, and again, no flag. Granberry, again, the leading rusher in the MAC Jack, has been held in check in the early going. Only 5 carries for 11 yards. Again, coulda, woulda, shoulda been maybe a flag on Pearl River again. Again, I'm just telling you what I see. As you saw Granberry's helmet kind of curl backwards, that's almost a telltale sign somebody's got a hold of something they shouldn't. But no flag again, and now the Pearl River defense with a chance to get out in a 3-and-out. 3rd down and 8 from the 31-yard line. Bennett barking the signals, calls for the ball. Looking down the field, going to throw it over the middle. Got a man there, and the catch is made. At the 41-yard line, and again, if you talked about it earlier, he's efficient, folks, and there's efficiency at its finest. On 3rd and 8, finds the open man, stays in the pocket long enough. Stays in the pocket long enough for his man to come open. It's a 10-yard completion and a 1st down. We get a flag, and it's a false start against Jones, so they'll move it back 5 after moving the sticks on the 10-yard completion. Bennett, 6 of 9 for 51 yards to start things out here in the ball game tonight. Jones, not a high-risk offense throwing the football, and hey, it works. 10 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. on the season between its two quarterbacks combined. 1st and 15, though, after the penalty. That's the third 5-yard penalty marked off against Jones, and actually Steve Buckley runs onto the field. He didn't like what he saw, and he's going to call a timeout. 11:33 to go first half. We'll take a timeout with him. Back in just a moment here. It's Jones 7, Pearl River nothing on PRCCmedia.com.
We want to thank you for quickly making Pine Belt Chevrolet one of the area's biggest dealerships. We're selling a lot of vehicles because you're finding out the best price and best service are right here. And during Truck Month, you get 18% off all 2018 Silverado 1500s, plus 90-day deferred payment, and 14% off all 2018 Tahoes, or choose from a big selection of certified pre-owned. New Pine Belt Chevrolet, Highway 98 West at Bellevue. Count on it.
Both teams have used one timeout so far in this first half, so both have 2 remaining. 11 minutes, 33 seconds left to go here on Breast Cancer Awareness Night here at Dobie Holden Stadium. Thus the pink socks, pink armbands, and pink in the stands as well. Oh, a beautiful tackle coming up, undercutting Kalen Granberry right there, chopping him down for only a couple of yards on the pickup. Granberry, again, 6 carries, only 13 yards. He came in averaging 5 yards a carry and was the leading rusher in the state. So good job by Pearl River. 2nd down and 13. Still plenty of time on the play clock. Bennett calls the signal. Here comes more pressure from Pearl River. Back looking. Bennett's going to throw it to a man out of the backfield. Granberry's got all kinds of room. 50, 40, foot race, 30, 20, heading toward the end zone and into the end zone for the touchdown. Pearl River brought the pressure, and then Jones ran all of its men deep, and that cleared out all kinds of space. It was just a little running back swing out. And Granberry was standing there all by himself, and he runs it the distance into the end zone for the touchdown. So on to try the extra point to make it a 14-0 lead. Christopher Thompson looks good from here and is good right down the middle. So a pass that probably traveled 5 yards in the air to the side ends up going the distance. A long pass play into the end zone for the touchdown, and at the 10:40 mark left to go first half, Jones has taken a 14-0 lead. Back with the kickoff here on PRCCmedia.com.
We want to thank you for quickly making Pine Belt Chevrolet one of the area's biggest dealerships. We're selling a lot of vehicles because you're finding out the best price and best service are right here. And during Truck Month, you get 18% off all 2018 Silverado 1500s, plus 90-day deferred payment, and 14% off all 2018 Tahoes, or choose from a big selection of certified.
So the Wildcats bottling up Kalen Granberry, running the football for just 2 yards a carry. But unfortunately, a 62-yard swing pass has gotten Granberry into the end zone with a reception. So 2 catches for 65 yards total, and Granberry does his damage as a receiver, and Jones County leads it by a score of 14-0. And they tried a onside kick, and the ball is just sitting there, and Jones has picked the ball up. So they tried what they were trying to do, if you saw the two men on the kickoff team had gotten very tight with the kickoff man, Christopher Thompson. He was just trying to bunt it forward, and they were going to go out and take out the one man that was there in the middle of the field for Pearl River and try to recover the onside kick and surprise the Wildcats. But unfortunately, the ball has to go 10 yards to do that. It went 6 feet. And the Wildcats now with a big opportunity to get themselves right back in the ball game, starting in Jones territory with the flubbed kickoff at the 37-yard line of Jones. And this is one where would think the Wildcats got to put some points on the board here as the number 7 team in the country is up 2 scores on the road, and we get a whistle. And it comes from the back judge, and it's a delay of game against Pearl River, so they'll mark it back 5 yards. So the Wildcat offense didn't get on the field quick enough, and so they'll mark it back to the 40. Well, that was weird. It's only, well, I guess that's 5. It's maybe 4.5, but closer the better. 1st and 15, fake the pitch, and Williams keeps it. He slices and dices his way and is slung forward, and a nice pickup, actually. When you need 15, he actually cut it almost dead in half. A 7-yard run as Williams did a really nice job of avoiding contact right there, staying on his feet for a good pickup on 1st down. Ball rests at the 35-yard line, nearing the 10-minute mark of the first half. Polk in motion to the near side. They will give it to the tailback, looking for some room to the near side. Nothing there as Jones. A couple of different Jones defensive linemen and linebackers there on the stop of Ron Thompson, Che Hill, and James Middleton, making a little bit of a Ron Thompson sandwich as Thompson only able to gain a yard. Remember, early in the game, Thompson had that 60-plus yard run on one play. His totals now for the game were 6 carries for 62 yards. He's gone backwards on the other 5 carries. 3rd down and 7, back to throw. Good pocket, but he's going to hold it. Now he's going to have to get out of trouble, and somehow he does. Williams eluding defenders, but finally brought down. Boy, he got rid of 2 or 3 Jones County defenders, avoiding the sack initially. But in the end, he's actually dropped for a 2-yard loss, and now this good field position in danger of being wasted. As is his 4th down and 9, the ball is on the 37-yard line. The Wildcats actually get Jones to jump, but they're going to let the play go. Throw it over the middle, incomplete. Boy, that was a free play right there. Williams was kind of surprised they let the play go. How many times do you see the offense hit a big play on that? The defense kind of playing at half speed, but the Wildcats couldn't take advantage. It is an offsides, though. The hard count does draw Jones across the neutral zone. The 4th dead ball, well, that technically wasn't a dead ball as they let it go, but the 4th pre-snap penalty against Jones. So instead of needing 9 yards, now the Wildcats only need 4 on 4th down. 4th and 4 at the 31-yard line. Back to Williams, looking left, going to throw left. Catch it, made at the 30, trying to get forward, and does at the 25-yard line. A great move right there as it's down around the 20-yard line. Catch looks like it was made by Donovan Hickman. Hickman with a super athletic move. Had he been tackled on that initial contact, it would have been a turnover on downs, but instead able to avoid that first tackle, picks up 13, and now the ball is in the Red Burrito red zone, just inside the 20 for the moment as the flag from the back judge coming again. Are they saying that's another delay of game penalty? Well, that 25-second clock must be on fast forward. While they discuss it, give Donovan Hickman a lot of credit on that last play, almost really single-handedly getting that first down on his own. The penalty is against the Wildcats. No, it's against the Bobcats. Illegal substitution. So they'll mark it off against the Bobcats. Well, that's a good change of pace right there. So it's 1st down and 5. So 1st and 5, the ball at the 14-yard line. Man in motion is Thompson to the far side. It's going to be a quarterback. It was meant to be a quarterback run all the way. They were trying to get some motion and get the defense flowing to the far side. Williams was trying to run to the near side, but Jones, it's almost like they knew it was coming. They were all over that one. It's a 3-yard loss on the play. It's 2nd down and 8. 5-yard penalty, though, coming in handy. So the Wildcats not behind the chains because of that initial penalty. 2nd and 8. Ball at the 17. Looking to throw. Looks right. Under pressure, but he's got some room. 15 at the 10. Williams makes a move. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. Pearl Rivers on the board. A 17-yard scamper as the blitz came. Williams saw the blitz coming, saw a little bit of daylight, was able to slide through that initial wave of tacklers, and there was a whole lot of green in the middle of the field. Williams only had to make a nice move at the 3, dove into the end zone for the touchdown, and Pearl River is an extra point away from cutting this lead in half. Tavis Williams, the 17-yard touchdown run. Lang on to try the extra point. Snap back, kick on its way, and it is good. So with 7:49 left to go in the first half, Pearl River is on the board. It's Jones County 14, Pearl River 7, back with the kickoff after this timeout on prccmedia.com.
It's another exciting year as we support the Golden Eagle team.
We're all in for Southern Miss football.
How about you? You'll find the best teams for customer service and price at Pine Belt Chevrolet, Courtesy Ford, and Pine Belt Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. From tough trucks to your favorite SUVs to performance and fun, we're all in for you.
Southern Miss to the top!
Text from the 504 area code on our Pearl River roll call just gives us a thumbs up. Must have liked the touchdown scored by Pearl River. Again, you can text us and tell us where you're listening to Wildcat football if you'd like. 601-549-1349 tonight is the number. So Pearl River with a big touchdown. Tavis Williams, 17-yard run. 14-7, and now talked with Ted Egger before the game, wanted to make some changes with this kick coverage. Kick back around the goal line, up around the 20, trying to get outside the 25 to the 30 and spinning around. Probably not great. Coach Ted Egger probably not super happy with that, but satisfied as last week Hines was able to really, you could argue that was the difference in the ball game, was the huge returns they were able to get in the kicking game in the first half, setting their offense up with shorter fields. As I believe Coach Egger told me in all, it was just under 150 return yards on kickoffs by Pearl River last week. But that one was a 30-yarder as the ball was taken right at the goal line and taken up to the 30-yard line for Jones, and that's where they will begin this drive. Up 14-7. But the Wildcats just scored, and now we'll see if the defense can make it stick. Quick pass out to the far side. It's a catch for about a 6-yard gain. That was Natorian Watts, his first catch of the evening. Watts tackled at the 26-yard line, and Bennett's having a great night. Again, not having to throw dangerous passes. That little swing pass really bolstered his numbers, but Bennett, the starting quarterback for Jones, 8 of 11 for 120 yards and a couple of scores so far. He'll take the snap. He'll give to his tailback. There's some room at the 40, up around the 45-yard line. That looked like Dante Edwards on the carry, slashing and dashing his way for 9. Overall, the Wildcats have done a good job against this potent running attack of Jones. That was the longest carry of the night, 9 yards. They'll give it to him again. He gets and this one is going to be longer than that, 10, 15 yards. So from the 45-yard line on one side of the field to the 40-yard line on the other side of the field goes Dante Edwards on the 15-yard run. He doubles his numbers on the night, 6 carries for 30 yards to be exact. And that's another Jones first down as they have come out firing on this drive. Wildcat defense again. The Jones lead was cut in half just a moment ago. You just don't want to let them get it right back again. There's the give again. Oh, big room. The offensive line creating huge holes for Edwards to run through. A 9, a 15, and now another 12 yards for Edwards. It's another first down for Jones County as they are running downhill at the moment. Again, before those last 3 runs, Jones had run the football 12 times for 19 yards. But again, 9, 15, and 12 on the last 3 carries alone. Back to throw, looking, going to go down one-on-one situation, going for it all down the right sideline, and the catch is not made, incomplete. Good job defensively and one-on-one coverage. Gabe Douglas, who already has a touchdown reception tonight on 4 catches. Looked like 2 versus 2 on that one. No, check that. That actually was Darrell Luter on the coverage. So Luter, nice job one-on-one right around the goal line. It's incomplete. It's 2nd and 10. Snap back. They'll give it to the running back. He's got room, and he could go 15 to 10, and he's tackled just inside the 5-yard line. Looks like he might be down around the 2-yard line, but Dante Edwards has dominated on this drive. A 26-yard pickup. Referees are conferring. The ball did come loose at the end, and it went through the end zone. The question is, was it out before he was down? I think it was out when he hit the ground, and that's what they've decided. They've actually moved it back to the 5-yard line. So in the end, that was a 24-yard scamper. 1st and goal from the 5. Pearl River defense trying to come up with a stop right here. 5:25 to go. Give it to Edwards again. Why not? But this time he stopped. Sliding to a stop in the backfield, actually. Couldn't get back to the line of scrimmage. So that's a 1-yard loss on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal now from back around the 6-yard line. Getting our text in now on the River roll call from up in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Watching, hoping for a stop, and there's a great play right there as the Wildcats crash down on Dante Edwards before he can get back to the line of scrimmage again. He may have fell forward enough to get the spot at the line, but now a huge 3rd down play coming up. Can the Wildcats at least force a field goal attempt here? 4.5 and rolling here at Dobie Holden Stadium. 14-7, Jones trying to erase the touchdown just scored by the Wildcats. 3rd and goal, Bennett calls for it. Going to fake it, he's going to keep it himself, and he's going to walk into the end zone for the touchdown. And again, the 2nd read option in which the quarterback has kept it, and it has fooled Pearl River, and you can't blame them to a certain extent. Coming into this game, Stetson Bennett had run the ball 21 times for negative 23 yards. But that one was a 6-yard run in the positive direction for the touchdown, and Jones has answered Pearl Rivers with one of its own. Snap back on the extra point, and Pearl River blocks it. Pearl River blocks it. That ball's alive in the end zone. But it's now deadened out. And that is that. So a blocked extra point. Christopher Thompson, his 3rd miss of the season. But Jones County still has stretched it to a 2-score ball game. 4:13 left to go to be exact here in the first half. Jones County leads it 20-7. Back after this on prccmedia.com.
Get treated like family at the Poplarville Eye Clinic. Poplarville Eye Clinic can take care of your basic exam needs, and their professional staff treats dry eyes, allergy issues, pink eye, and glaucoma problems. Poplarville Eye Clinic offers pediatric exams and can fit regular and specialty contacts. Need glasses? Pick from brands like Ray-Ban, Coach, Nike, and Guess. Book your own appointment on their Facebook page or stop by 12.
Back with the kickoff from the 585 area code. They were happy about that Pearl River touchdown a moment ago from New York. The Monticelli's listening in. Thanks for listening on prccmedia.com. We've got a Bobcat listening, an actual Go JC. We don't want to Go JC too much on prccmedia.com, but got some Bobcat fans listening. The mother of Fred Barham for the Bobcats listening in on our broadcast. Kick and a nice return straight down, no lefts or rights, east or west on that one. Nice return from about the 4-yard line up to around the 34-yard line. Trying to get a number for you because that was a pretty good 30-yard return. It looks like that's credited to Keontae Payton. So Keontae Payton gives the Wildcat offense some pretty good starting field position at that 33-yard line to be exact. 1st and 10. Trying to do basically what they did last time. Get this thing back to a 1-score ball game. Wildcats trailing at 20-7. Man in motion, but they'll give. Looks like Ron Thompson with the football. Not a lot of room, though, boy. A big run early in the game, and that's essentially been it. Thompson started the game with a 9-yard carry and then followed that up with a 60-plus yard carry. But since then, the going has been tough for the second leading rusher in the state. Thompson gets a yard on that carry. It's 2nd down and 9. Polk comes in motion. The give, that looks like, no, they faked the give. It's Williams with the ball. And Williams diving forward. He's up around the 45-yard line. That's an 11-yard pickup. And Tavis Williams is getting his game going on the ground. And that's a 1st down for the Wildcats. Tavis Williams with the 17-yard rush for a touchdown a moment ago. He's got 7 carries for 46 yards. And the ball's up around the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for Pearl River. The give to Purnell. Purnell hit at the line. Boy, he's got those strong legs, though, driving and bullying his way forward. He actually picked up around 3 when it was all said and done. The first carry of the night for Jesse Purnell puts the Wildcats in a 2nd down and 7 situation as they're approaching the midfield stripe. We are under 3 minutes left to go first half. 20-7 is the score. The visiting Bobcats leading. Again, the give is to Purnell. Not a lot there. He's able to get the ball up around the 50-yard line, making it a manageable 3rd down situation. 3rd down and 5 coming up for Pearl River. This is an important drive for multiple reasons, but remember, Jones deferred after winning the coin toss, so they will get the football to start the 3rd quarter. It's a big conversion coming up. The last thing you want is to give the ball back to Jones and then to have him get it back once again to start the 3rd. Play action pass under pressure, and he's sacked. 3. Jones, defensive lineman, like on a jailbreak, come through and sack Tavis Williams, and a timeout called by Jones as they want to conserve that clock. They burn their 2nd timeout. The sack goes for a loss of 8. And with 2:07 left to go in the first half, Pearl River's defense is now going to be under the gun as the Bobcat offense is going to have plenty of time with a 2-minute drill here to potentially extend what is right now a 13-point lead. So Jones brought the pressure. And not 1, not 2, but 3 Bobcats got through. While we have a moment, we'll try to check the Town and Country Cleaners, the Anderson's Design Center scoreboard. East Central in the 1st quarter has a early lead against Colin. Again, that's a very important game in the South Division. 14-7. Is the score there. And in the 1 versus 2 matchup, the number 1 team in the nation taking on the number 2 team in the nation, Northwest number 2, and at home, but trailing the number 1 team in the nation, East Mississippi. 13-6 is the score. That game again in the 1st quarter. Snapback and a beautiful punt. Spiral turning over, but bouncing actually backwards. But a great hang time, hanging punt toward the sidelines and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So great hang time on that. No return possible for the Bobcats. It ends up being, punt was from the 43-yard line if I'm not mistaken. So only a 32-yard net on that, but angling it toward the sidelines was Will Lang as they were trying to avoid a big return from Jones. And so Jones has the football with 1 timeout, but plenty of time on the clock. 1:58 left to go. And this a critical defensive possession for the Wildcats as they don't want to let this thing get any farther than the 20-7 score the Bobcats currently enjoy. Back to throw, looking, under pressure. Got to spin out of trouble. Going to the far side is Bennett. Bennett breaks a tackle, throws it down the field, and it's almost intercepted again. That's the second or even the third time, if you want to argue one of those closer ones earlier in the ball game, that the Wildcats had a golden opportunity at an interception. That's probably the first mistake that Stetson Bennett has made. That was a very ill-advised pass, and he is lucky to get to live to see another down on this possession. It's 2nd and 10. Nearly threw it right into the hands of a Wildcat defensive back. 1:49 left to go. Jones looking to get a score before the halftime buzzer. Back to throw, looks, a little swing pass. This worked big earlier to Granberry, but this time he's hit hard at the 29-yard line and out of bounds. What a stick. Helmet to helmet, pad on pad. Josh Booker Brown laying the leather. It was a 4-yard pickup on the play, maybe 5 actually, but those were 5 hard-earned yards for Granberry on that one, and now a chance for Pearl River to get off the field. The clock was stopped as they said that went out of bounds. It's 3rd down and 5. So 3rd and 5. It's a big play for Pearl River if they can get off the field. Give is to the tailback, and he stopped, and now Pearl River may want to use its timeouts. And Coach Eggers calling for one, it looks like. He's still calling for one, and they finally give it to him. He's out asking, hey, man, I called for that about 5 seconds ago. But he's happy with his defense right there, a defensive stop, what looks to be a defensive stop, I should say. If you haven't been with us throughout the entire broadcast, Jones has already faked 1 punt successfully on the first possession of the ball game. But this would be quite the risk. 4th down and 3. The ball at the 32-yard line is Kalen Granberry. He's got the big reception for the touchdown out of the backfield, but the leading rusher in the Mac Jack coming in, 7 carries for 15 yards, and he was chopped down there for just a 2-yard pickup. And the punting unit does come on. Of course it does. You weren't going to expect them to send the offense back on the field, but Greg Hayden, who had a 60-yard punt earlier in this ball game, will try to duplicate that here. Jones always starts out in that one formation, goes to the other. There's the punt. It's high and wobbling, hits around the 33-yard line and pops out of bounds. We'll see exactly where they spot it, but Pearl River will have pretty good field position with still 92 seconds left to go in the first half. Hardy's halftime show coming up in about a minute and a half of game time here on prccmedia.com. Both the Jones and Pearl River bands scheduled to play. We'll let you watch a little bit of that. Both those bands, of course, you know about Pearl Rivers, but Jones also with a great band. They're down here to my left, ready to get going. They actually had a dual performance beforehand. Both teams' dance squads and both teams' bands each. The stoppage of play is the referees are trying to get the scoreboard operators to change the fact that both teams only have 1 timeout remaining. So 1:32 left. They're trying to wind the clock here, if I'm not mistaken. Well, that's what happened. Now I know there was 1:32 left to go, so before the punt. So they wanted 8 seconds to be run off the clock, and that's exactly what they've got. So Pearl River has 1 timeout and 1:24 to work with here to see if they can get some points on the board before the half now. Williams back to throw. Looks right, throws right to the back out of the backfield, but Ron Thompson is bowled over in the backfield behind the line of scrimmage, I should say, on the far side for a 2-yard loss on the play. Clock actually is stopped. Now it's moving. I was going to say I didn't see anybody call a timeout, and nobody did call a timeout. So it's 2nd down and 12. Actually, the completed pass lost a couple of yards on that play. Thompson's 2nd catch of the night, but only for a 3-yard net. Now we're under a minute as the Wildcats taking a little bit more time than you might think here on this potential last possession of the half. Back to throw, looking, sliding to his right, under pressure and sacked. Williams now been sacked on 2 of the last 3 pass attempts, and now don't count Jones County out for maybe calling a timeout, but it looks like Steve Buckley's going to just go ahead and let this clock run. The Wildcats started this drive just outside the 30. Now it's back around the 22-yard line, so a 6-yard loss on that sack. And now Pearl River may be okay. They'll have to run one more play. The play clock is literally less than a second ahead of the game clock. So they'll have to snap it at least one more time here. And actually, Coach Ted Eggers letting the clock run all the way down, and he's going to call a timeout with 7/10 of a second left. I told you that math of mine was pretty good. It was less than a second differential. They let that play clock run all the way down, and they use their 3rd and final timeout. We'll see what they choose to do here. Again, backed up this far, 78 yards away. Again, unlike the pros, where you might say, hey, we'll try a Hail Mary and maybe get a pass interference call. Well, even if you get a pass interference call here, it only moves 15 yards up, unlike the pros where it would be a spot foul. So may see the Wildcats just take a knee right here because the risk might be more than what the potential reward could be. So we'll see how they choose to play it. Last play, barring a penalty here in the first half. And it looks like Tavis Williams actually is going to go under center. And so he will take the snap and he'll take the knee. Not a surprise there. And that's how the first half will come to an end. So the number 7 team in the country and the leaders, well, at least the co-leaders, of the South Division, the Jones Bobcats, come into Pearl River looking to not get upset by the homestanding Wildcats, and so far through 2 quarters of play, mission accomplished. It's the Jones Bobcats 20, the Pearl River Wildcats 7 in the annual cat fight from Dobie Holden Stadium. We'll take a time out here on prccmedia.com, and we'll be back with the Hardee's halftime show in just a moment.
One-on-one education. The teachers were fantastic. Had a great training and was able to move straight from there to a senior college and there to medical school without any steps or falls. I tell my patients there's no better education than they could get anywhere than at Pearl River Community College.
I was on the string of pearls. I had several friends that I made lifelong throughout the 2 years that I was there. I ended up majoring in medical technology and just loved everything about Pearl River.
Choose a college. Go online. Apply for college. Go to class. Keep fit. Go skydiving. Scratch that. Meet new friends. Grab a power lunch. Take a break. Study, study, study. Sleep. Wake up. Take a test. Graduate. Get a job.
Once I got there, I realized that there was a lot more to Pearl River Community College than just small town, campus in Poplarville, and football. The academic courses were challenging. I learned a great deal during my time at Pearl River. I also met my wife.
Gave me an opportunity to succeed. The small classroom environment really set the tone that I needed for the one-on-one individual attention to be successful. And quite honestly, it really paved the foundation for me to continue all the way through graduate school. I felt this is exactly what I needed, and Pearl River gave me exactly what I needed to succeed.
My time at Pearl River really helped me mature as an adult and start thinking about more than just me and about what my contribution to humanity and to society needed to be. And that's part of what drove me to choose nursing as a career.
Loved it here. Some of the best friends I have today I met here while living on campus at Pearl River. Went to work right when I graduated from Pearl River Nursing Program at Forest General, and I have been there for 35 years, and I feel like my education prepared me for my career in the healthcare profession.
Choose a college. Go online. Apply for college. Go to class. Keep fit. Go skydiving. Scratch that. Meet new friends. Grab a power lunch. Take a break. Study, study, study. Sleep. Wake up. Take a test. Graduate. Get a job.
Two best years of my life as far as college goes. Met a lot of great friends that are still friends today. Got to play baseball with a bunch of great guys. Just had a great time.
Just made the best friends of my life. I got the best of instruction, and when I finished in 1986, I went on to pharmacy school at Ole Miss, and I felt that I was really well prepared by the faculty of Pearl River. I just enjoyed so much the time I spent there as a student.
Back in Pearl River Community College at Dobie Holden Stadium, it's the Hardee's halftime show. The Pearl River Wildcats trailing in the annual battle, the cat fight. Bobcats leading 20-7. Jones with a touchdown in the first quarter, coming off a short field. In fact, two of the four touchdown drives in the first half have been on drives that have started in the opponent's territory, but Jones in the first quarter was able to start at the 48-yard line after wasn't a terrible punt, but it wasn't the best punt either, a 29-yard punt that went out of bounds just before midfield. And Wildcat defense did what it could. It forced a fourth down conversion attempt that Jones was able to convert, and then forced a 3rd and long that also Jones was able to convert on a 3rd down and 11, a 12-yard completion, kept the drive alive, and then a defensive holding put the ball in the red zone. And on the very next play, Stetson Bennett was able to find Gabe Douglas in the end zone for the 16-yard touchdown, and that's what gave Jones the first quarter lead, 7-0, as that was the only score in the first quarter. Jones was then able to put together a nice drive in the early parts of the second quarter to extend that to a 2-touchdown lead, but that drive was with a 62-yard touchdown pass on just a swing pattern, basically. It was a Kalen Granberry. Granberry came in as the leading rusher in the whole state in the MAC Jack, but he's been completely bottled up running the football. A great job by the Wildcat defense, as they have really put the stops on Granberry. 7 carries for 15 yards running the football, but He made his mark. He's caught the ball 3 times. 2 of those have been in the wrong direction. He's actually lost a couple of yards on a couple of catches. It's the one single flare pass that he caught. The Wildcats brought all kinds of pressure that Jones was able to pick up just enough to give Stetson Bennett enough time to swing the ball out, and a really nice job of play calling. This is, folks, this was not by accident that all the receivers went flying down the field. So Pearl River brings pressure. That took 5 or 6 defenders out of the play. And then they send 4 receivers streaking down the field. That took 4 or 5 defenders out of the play. And when Granbury caught the football, he was all alone, and he raced down the near sidelines for the 62-yard score. And that gave Jones a 14-0 advantage. Pearl River, and then on the ensuing kickoff, Jones might have tried to outsmart itself a little bit. They tried a gimmick onside kick where the kicker ran up to the ball quickly and tried to just kind of bunt the ball forward, just nub it forward about straight ahead 10 yards with a couple of guys to his side, and they were going to try to make a 3-on-1 situation essentially with the one Pearl River defender in the middle of the field. Is what they were hoping to do, was have those 2 guys go take him out and have the kicker kind of recover his own onside kick. But unfortunately for Jones, the kick only went 2 yards. He needed to go 10, and like I said earlier, it went about 6 feet. And so Pearl River took over in great field position at the 37-yard line. That drive had to have a 4th down conversion. A great job by tight end Donovan Hickman on a 4th down and 4. Tavis Williams found Hickman, but he was stopped short of the first down. At least it looked like that. But Hickman, on a great individual effort, was able to kind of jump in the air, take some contact, and stay on his feet and take the ball down for a 1st down for Pearl River. That ended with a 17-yard touchdown run. Tavis Williams was back to throw, but Jones this time was the one that brought the pressure, and very similarly, as they brought the pressure and Williams was able to get away with it up the middle, there was nothing but green grass ahead of him. Had to make a little move at the 3-yard line, but he was able to take it into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Wildcats cut the lead in half, 14-7 at that moment. But give Jones credit. They're not the number 7 team in the country or the leaders in the South Division for no reason. They were able to answer the Pearl River score with one of their own, ending with a 6-yard touchdown run from Stetson Bennett. He gets it into the end zone for the score off the read option, as really Dante Edwards was did the heavy lifting on that drive. Dante Edwards, outside of that drive, had carried the ball 5 times for 9 yards in the ball game. But on that one drive, he carried the ball 5 times, but for 56 yards. And that got the Jones County Bobcats in the red zone. And again, Stetson Bennett on a 3rd and goal from the 6, as the Wildcats were trying to force a field goal. They run the read option and get it into the end zone for the score. The extra point was blocked by Pearl River, and that's how the first half scoring came to an end, with Jones leading it by a score of 20-7 on the Anderson Design Center scoreboard. Right now, looking across the other scores from the MACJAC, in the one that everyone's looking at, including all other junior colleges in the nation, the number 1 and number 2 teams are battling up at Northwest Community College, and East Mississippi, the number 1 team and road team, is leading Northwest at the moment. That's game late in the first quarter. The score is 13-6. Itawamba is ahead, trying to pull the upset of the number 18 team in the country. Itawamba and Holmes, both of them trying. This is almost an elimination game, so to speak, in the North Division, as both of them come in with 1 loss in conference play. Itawamba leading 6-0 as they head to the second quarter in that game. East Central and Colin, this a big game in the South Division, both undefeated. 2-0 coming in is Colin and East Central, and at home the Warriors lead Colin by a score of 14-7. Delta and Northeast just got underway about 20 minutes ago, and neither team have scored yet. Same can be said for Gulf Coast and Southwest. And the other game in Mississippi Junior College play will be Saturday up at Coahoma as they celebrate homecoming on the campus of Coahoma. Hines making the trip up from the Raymond area to take on Coahoma. That's a 2:30 start on Saturday. We'll take a short time out here on prccmedia.com, and when we come back, we'll let you watch the Wildcat Band go at it here in front of the home folks at Dobie Holden Stadium here on the Hardee's Halftime Show. That'll be in just a moment.
Drum majors, Jacob McCoy, Cole Bourne, and Ricardo January. Is your band ready? Welcome to Halftime in the River, our 2018 show entitled Cool, featuring music from the band Cool in the Game. Opening with their hit, Emergency. We now feature String of Pearls in the color guard and a medley of hits including Ladies' Night, Get Down on It, and Jungle Boogie. features saxophone soloist Trevor Fryer, trombone soloist Brian Ross, and a medley of Kool and the Gang ballads, Cherish and Joanna. Show the cool tune from musical artist Al Jarreau. Boogie down.
Instructor Mike Bass and Dr. Andy Gilstrap. String of Pearls Instructor Kara Fleming. Color Guard Instructor Alexis Ridge. Drum Major Instructor Adam Weatherford.
Back here at the Hardee's halftime show, got to see the Spirit of the River. Boy, another spirited performance by the Pearl River Marching Band. It was had the crowd on their feet here on Breast Cancer Awareness Night here at Dobie Holden Stadium. 20-7 is our halftime score. The Jones County Bobcats winning the annual cat fight for the moment. Anyway, hopefully Pearl River can duplicate what it's done the last couple of weeks. The defense has not given up a single point in the last 2 weeks against East Central and against Hines, and hopefully they can do it again against Jones County and give their offense a chance to pull out a victory here, which would be their first of the season. Overall in the first half, the statistics look a little bit like this. The Jones County Bobcats, 88 yards rushing, 129 passing. It's a little bit that's actually pretty even, but actually a little bit more lopsided. They came in almost dead even on the run and pass department with a very efficient offense that they run. But overall, with that 88 and 129, 217 yards of total offense, but much of that damage came in the second quarter, 154 to be exact of those 217 yards by Jones came in the second quarter as they really got their offense rolling, while Pearl River had 100 yards rushing in the first half, but only 22 passing in the first half. Their touchdown drive was a 37-yard touchdown drive after they got great field position off of kind of a botched onside kick attempt by Jones. Over for Pearl River individually, Tavis Williams, 4 of 8, throwing the football for 22 yards. Running the football, Tavis, 9 carries, 32 yards rushing the football, and he does have the 1 touchdown for Pearl River. Ron Thompson, on the surface, 7 carries, 63 yards in the first half. You're thinking, hey, 9 yards a carry, that's pretty good. Actually, he had 62 yards on 1 carry. And the rest of the time, he has been bottled up by this Jones defense. That was on the very first possession, second play from scrimmage. In fact, he had a 9-yard carry on the first play, 62 on the second play. And in his ensuing 5 carries, Ron Thompson has actually lost yardage as he is battling with Kalen Granberry, the running back for the Bobcats. He was the number 1 runner in the Mac Jack coming in. Ron Thompson was just behind him. And right now, Granberry's been held in check. 7 carries for 15 yards as the Wildcat defense has done a good job of focusing on him. Jones receives the second half kickoff, and here they come to the near side, slipping at the 25-yard line and then being taken down. Nice job there of coverage for Pearl River as Gabe Douglas is slung to the ground by Marshall Cosma. And Cosma's tackle is right around the 30-yard line is where they spot it, and that's where Jones's offense will come out. 1st and 10 on the first possession of the second half. So the cat fight right now swinging in favor of the Bobcats. We'll see if this Wildcat defense, no turnovers in the first half by either team, so good job by these offenses of hanging on to the football, although the Bobcats probably should have had a couple of interceptions thrown to the Wildcats. Pearl River dropped a couple of errant throws off the right arm of Stetson Bennett. And we have a delay of game penalty against Jones. Boy, that's something that won't make head coach Steve Buckley all that happy. First play from scrimmage out of the half, and the first thing you get is a penalty. So 1st and 15 now as the Wildcats the beneficiary of that. And they will give to the tailback. Granberry looking for some room, and just like in the first half, nothing there. No gain on the play. Granberry came in, as I just said, the leading rusher in the MAC Jack, averaging over 5 yards a carry, just short of 600 on the season. He's got 8 carries for 15 yards. His damage, though, was done on a swing pass, his only real explosive play of the night, but it went for 62 and a score back in the second quarter. Back to throw is Bennett. Oh, he's got it wide open. The tight end was just left alone out around the 35-yard line, and bowling his way forward was Dontavius Porter. Porter, a 16-yard pickup on a really nicely designed play, an executed play by Jones County. It's a first down. Bennett now 10 of 15 throwing the football for 141 yards. The give is to Granberry. Granberry stumbling his way forward for a pickup of 3. That's actually one of the better carries of the night for Granberry. It's 2nd and 7. Again, Thompson came in trailing the leading rusher in the conference by 53 yards. At the moment, Thompson has outgained him by 45 yards, so trailing Granberry by 8 at the moment. Pearl River showing blitz. Pump fake, now going to throw down the sideline, and it is it intercepted? It is intercepted! I was about to say it is well defended, but coming down with the ball are the Wildcats, and it's a turnover. So Pearl River creates the first turnover of the ball game. So the Wildcat offense now with a chance to get out onto the field. What a great play by Darrell Luter. Luter, who's had a pretty darn good game from start to finish so far, hauls in. A couple of easy interceptions were dropped by Pearl River earlier. That was one of the most difficult catches you'll find. So 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Back to throw and sacked. Tavis Williams sacked for the 3rd time in the last 4 attempts by Pearl River as Jones is dialing up the defense. A 7-yard loss on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 17. So Pearl River is going to have to do something to protect Williams on these pass plays, as again, 3 of the last 4 attempts he's been dropped and really had no chance. Quarterback draw, and that goes nowhere but backwards as well. Jones is really turning linebackers, defensive backs, they're turning the defense loose and coming after Pearl River and forcing them to make a play, and right now, unable to do so. Back at the 15-yard line, that's a loss of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 21. So the Wildcats get the momentum going off the interception, but the offense not able to take advantage, and there's another sack. Back to throw was Williams. That's 4 for 5, folks. Of the last 5 times Williams has dropped back, he has been dumped, and it's going to be 4th down and a ways to go. All the way back at the 10-yard line. The interception occurred at the 26, and Pearl River had it stuck in reverse. 16-yard drive that went in the wrong direction, and Will Lang will try to kick him as far out of trouble as he can. Snap back, it's a good one. The kick is on its way, a high hanger that drops at the, it hits a Bobcat, and the ball is loose, but I don't think that Pearl River was able to get it, and they were not. Hit a Bobcat at the 39-yard line, but ricocheted away from where the Wildcats were going to cover the return man. And in the end, the good news is that Pearl River kind of gained 7 more yards out of the deal because it made contact with the Bobcats at the 39-yard line. But the bad news is Wildcats not only don't get it, but Jones starts in Wildcat territory at the 46-yard line, 1st and 10. So in the end, a 36-yard net on the punt. They give us to Granberry, and Granberry's got room for the first time tonight. The leading rusher in the Mac Jack with a good gain, very near first down yardage, about a 9-yard pickup. It's 2nd and very short. So Jones, you can almost kind of see it with your eyes. They kind of smell a chance to really put some elbow room out there now. Their defense, after the interception, created an opportunity for the offense, and actually Fred Barnum is in at quarterback. So Stetson Bennett, after throwing the interception, gets replaced, and here comes Granberry again, and Granberry has room, lots of room, this time created by the offensive line, essentially. Great blocking, back-to-back 9-yard runs, and it's a first down for Jones as they are approaching the red zone, trying to extend this lead to a 3-score game. Because of the missed extra point, if the Wildcats can hold them to a field goal, it would stay a 2-score game. Back to throw. Going to throw the fade down the right sideline. Got a man out there, but he's overthrown as Barnum, for the first time tonight, misses. He was 3 for 3 before that. For the season, he was 25 of 29. I mean, that's as close to being perfect as you can be. His 3 completions here tonight, though, were short ones. That was the first time he tried to stretch the field. Incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10. Ball rests on the 26-yard line of the Wildcats. Man in motion. They'll pitch it forward. And the catch is made at the 25 and ducking forward and getting down to about the 22-yard line. Again, that goes as a reception. Even though it's a short pitch forward, if it's forward, it's called a pass, and Gabe Douglas has his 5th reception of the evening. 4 yards on the pickup. It's 3rd down and 6. The ball is at the 22-yard line of Pearl River. So you would think that the Bobcats are in field goal range, to say the least here, but they're looking for more. 3rd and 6. Give to Granberry. No, fake the give to Granberry. The read option once again. Again, Jones has not run that play very much this season, as evidence of the fact that Barnum had only come in with 3 carries for 7 yards. But that's his 3rd carry of the night, and that one goes for 11 yards and a first down. They have run the read option 3 times tonight, and all 3 times it has worked to perfection. Once for a touchdown, twice for first downs. All 3 times they ran it were on 3rd downs. So 1st down and 10 from the 11-yard line. Give up the middle. Tailback gets into the end zone for the touchdown. That was Granberry. Granberry finds just the slightest crease in the defensive line of Pearl River, but once he slipped through that little bit of daylight, there was nobody in the middle of the field. He goes in untouched for the 11-yard score. So Kalen Granberry has gotten untracked here on this drive. On to try the extra point. Up, and it is good. So after having his last one blocked, Christopher Thompson knocks that one through with 9:02 left to go 3rd quarter. Jones has stretched out the lead a little bit. They lead at 27-7 over the Wildcats. Back after this on prccmedia.com.
We want to thank you for quickly making Pine Belt Chevrolet one of the area's biggest dealerships. We're selling a lot of vehicles because you're finding out the best price and best service are right here. And during Truck Month, you get 18% off all 2018 Silverado 1500s, plus 90-day deferred payment. and 14% off all 2018 Tahoes. Or choose from a big selection of certified pre-owned. New Pine Belt Chevrolet, Highway 98 West at Bellevue. Count on it.
Back at Dobie Holden Stadium, the Wildcats now trailing 27-7. If you're listening out there in PRCCmedia.com land, text us at 601-549-1349. I had a text from the 504 down in Kenner, Louisiana, rooting on the Wildcats just a short time ago. Of course, the Wildcats need to get some points on the board now after another drive. That kickoff was returned up to the 26-yard line and upended there was the return man for Pearl River. Looked like Keontae Payton again on the return. But Jones starting their second drive in Pearl River territory in the ballgame, and they've cashed in on both of them. In fact, both of them started at around the 48-yard line. Pearl River's only touchdown they scored was when they started in their opponent's territory. So 3 times these two teams have started across the 50 on offense, and all 3 times they've cashed them in. Quick hitter up the middle. The quarterback draw is, well, I tell you what, I don't see the monitor that you guys see on the whole field, but look, if you can see, the Jones County defense is just, they look like sprinters starting in the starter's block. I mean, they are just lining up and running as fast as they can with as many people as they can and trying to force the ball out of Tavis Williams' hand as quickly as possible. Man in motion to the near side is Purnell. Back to throw. Fake the throw. Now he's going to tuck it and run. And this time he gets away from the pressure and he's got some room. Just outrunning that blitzing defense of Jones for a first down was Tavis Williams. Give him 11 on the, well, run for his life, basically, and it's a first down. There's not a lot of other way to describe it. Williams just under assault back there, under attack from his shotgun position. Look at this, 8 men in the box, and here they come again. They give us to Thompson, and Thompson trying to wiggle free, but just nothing there. No gain on the play. Check that. That was Jesse Purnell. Again, Ron Thompson's numbers look good on the surface, 7 for 63 yards, but he had 71 yards after 2 carries. So his last 5 carries have gone backwards 9 yards. Jesse Purnell's 3 carries have gone for 6. So the Wildcats have not been able to come up with any sort of a rushing game since that first possession. Play action pass under pressure, just had to get rid of it, and he's dumped. Tavis Williams is just, I mean, he can no more get it into his hands off the snap than he is under attack. And simply put, when a defense knows that you can't run the football, they are just pinning their ears back and coming with full force. Now only 3 men on the line of scrimmage, but here goes 2, walking up, here they come, fake the pass, under pressure, and again, having to get it away quickly. Tyler Polk was open down the near side, and he kind of was a little frustrated with his arms in the air, but the problem is that Tyler will probably see on the tape on that particular play. Yeah, he might have been open, but Tavis Williams just has no time to find him. Incomplete, and the punting unit will come back out. Well, you look back at that first quarter of play where the Wildcats had 86 yards of offense, but in the second quarter, only 37. And here, in this third quarter, not much of nothing so far. Punt is away. Good coverage. And a nice job by Will Lang as he ran to his right and didn't have much pressure, and he just waited and waited and waited and let his kick coverage team just get farther and farther down the field. And once the punt was reeled in around the 21, 22-yard line. A couple of Wildcats were there to make the tackle, only a 1-yard return, and the Jones offense will come back out on the field. 7:03 left to go here in the third quarter. 27-7 is the score. Man in motion. They will pitch it forward, and here he comes. Cuts it up around the 25, maybe got to the 26-yard line as Fred Barnum has stayed in the ball game. That catch was made, it looked like, and it was Emmanuel Jones. So Jones on the reception. It was a 4-yard pickup. It's basically just a sweep. But by throwing it forward, if your skilled position player drops the ball, it's considered an incomplete pass, not a fumble. There's the give to Granberry, and look at Granberry go. He's at the 50. He breaks free. Granberry's on the move at the 30. He's at the 20. Can't be caught. He's into the end zone just like that. Kalen Granberry woke up at the half. Nearly non-existent in the first half. Kalen Granberry has exploded. That one was a 73-yard strike, and that's his second touchdown of the half. He's over 100 yards, and Jones is now out in front 33-7. Kalen Granberry had 7 carries for 15 yards in the first half. 7 for 15 in the second half. He's got 6 for 105. Kick is up and on the way, and it is right down the middle. And with 6:16 left to go, third quarter, Jones is starting to flex its muscles in the annual cat fight. Jones 34, Pearl River 7. Back after this on prccmedia.com.
Get treated like family at the Poplarville Eye Clinic. Poplarville Eye Clinic can take care of your basic exam needs, and their professional staff treats dry eyes, allergy issues, pink eye, and glaucoma problems. Poplarville Eye Clinic offers pediatric exams and can fit regular and specialty contacts. Need glasses? Pick from brands like Ray-Ban, Coach, Nike, and Guess. Book your own appointment on their Facebook page or stop by 1249 South Main Street in Poplarville. Call 601-795-0137.
Getting ready to kick things away. We'll get you up to date. Boy, some good games going on around the state tonight in junior college football on the Anderson Design Center scoreboard after the kickoff here from Jones. Kick is away, and it is heading toward the out-of-bounds marker, and it gets there as the Wildcats, obviously, they had a good angle on it. I mean, from here, they really weren't chasing it down, but it's because it hit around the 14-yard line and bounded out of bounds, so the Wildcats will get some pretty good field position. Looking across the state, again, the one that everyone across the nation is looking at is the East Mississippi Northwest game, the number 1 and 2 teams in the nation going at it. East Mississippi, the number 1 team on the road, leading at the half 20-6. Itawamba and Holmes, the number 18 team from Holmes, tied at 20 in a good one at the half. Colin and East Central in a key South Division matchup in a good one at the half. Colin was down 14-7 in the first, but came back. They lead at the half 21-14. Tavis Williams gives it forward. Looks like Jesse Purnell just trying to get something, maybe a yard. Check that, it was Ron Thompson on the carry, his first carry of the second half, and it goes for a yard. It's second down. Actually, no, they marked it back right at the 35, so no gain on the play. We'll finish the Anderson Design Center scoreboard in just a moment as the Wildcats come to the line inside of 6 minutes left to go third quarter, but it's been a third quarter dominated by Jones. Jones has put 14 points on the board on 2 very impressive drives. They lead at 34-7. Back to throw, looking, nobody there, and just throws it. Oh, he gets it to, somehow, I think that was an accident. I think he was trying to throw it away, and Ron Thompson stuck his right hand out as he was there trying to block and actually made the catch as an eligible receiver. So instead of an incompletion, it's a 2-yard pickup that actually breaks the streak of I believe that was 4 incompletions in a row from Tavis Williams. Again, most of them not his fault. He's just been under duress for much of the night on passing plays. Had one streak just a moment ago where he was sacked on 4 of 5 passing calls. Back to throw again, looking, got to throw it, and in and through the hands of Tyler Polk at the 50-yard line as Williams had another defender bearing down on him, and the incompletion sends out the punting unit. So finishing up the Anderson Design Center scoreboard, break out the Delta. The Mississippi Delta won their first game of the year last week. They not only lead at the half against Northeast, on the road no less, they have a 14-point lead, 17-3. And for those that follow Mac Jack football, that could be one of their biggest leads in the last 5 years. And the punt is muffed. It goes forward a little bit. It's scooped up, and it's going to be a touchdown. Will Lang rolled to his right like he did last time, except this time Jones made an adjustment. They didn't rush up the middle. They rushed to the left to Lang's right, and Lang was forced to punt it a little bit quicker than he wanted to, and basically he swung and missed. The ball barely touched his toe and rolled forward maybe a yard or two, and Enrique Wally picked it up and ran it in from 23 yards out for a special teams touchdown. So with 4:24 left to go in the third quarter, Jones is pouring it on. We have an illegal substitution coming on here against Pearl River. So Jones will probably decline that, or they'll move the football forward a yard and they'll try it again. So Jones, after throwing an interception on their first possession of the third quarter, it looked like Pearl River had done exactly what they wanted to do. Stopped Jones on their first possession, got the turnover. That's the only turnover of the ball game. And then get their offense on the field. But after going backwards 16 yards, Jones took over in Pearl River territory, scored once, then they scored again, and now the special teams have joined in on the fun. It's 41-7 with 4:24 to go in the third quarter. Back after this on prccmedia.com. One other score from around the Mac Jack tonight, Gulf Coast heading into the half leading Southwest after trailing early. They're up 21-7 over Southwest. Southwest, that's the next opponent for Pearl River. That'll be next Saturday here on prccmedia.com. Oh, and the kickoff is dropped. They pooched it down the 25-yard line. Ooh, and if it can get worse, it almost just did for Pearl River, but able to at least get back on top of it was Ron Thompson. So Pearl River will take over 1st and 10 for the at the 25-yard line. For those listening here on prccmedia.com, and you weren't with us earlier, no, I am not Kelly Sander. This is David Sutton sliding into Kelly Sander's chair. The Sandman out of town, out of state tonight. Had a previous engagement up in Nashville, Tennessee, but he'll be back with us for the Saturday stretch run of Pearl River football. This the final Thursday night contest for the Wildcats as they'll participate in homecoming 3 times in their last few games of the season as the pass is thrown incomplete. Williams, boy, just got that one away as the pressure was bearing down on him from behind. And actually, a good job, I'll give some credit there to Enrique Wally. Remember, Wally was the one who just scooped and scored the muffed punt a moment ago, basically, on a 23-yard return. Right there, he could have leveled Tavis Williams, but Williams got rid of the football and he was able to peel off at the last second. That was a really nice job of not hitting the quarterback. Here he comes again, trying to track down the running back. The ball's on the ground, and jumping back on top of it all the way back at the 10-yard line was the quarterback, Williams. As Jesse Purnell thought that he was going to give it to him on the read option, but then he left the football behind, and the ball gets batted backwards back to the 14-yard line when it's all said and done. So that's an 11-yard loss on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 21. So 3rd and 21, ball back at the 14-yard line. Snap back, pump fake. Here we go, going to throw it down the right sideline, and over the head of everyone, his intended receiver was Keontae Payton. So why not? Pearl River trying to hit a big one, and the Jones defense, because of all the men they're sending, are allowing one-on-one coverage on the outside and just seeing if Pearl River can beat their cornerbacks, and right now the Wildcats have not been able to do it. So a tight ball game throughout much of and into the halftime locker room, but Jones with 3 touchdowns, 2 offensive and 1 via special teams, has put this one kind of out of reach. Snap, punt is away, a low liner that's returnable. Caught at the 41-yard line, up across the 35 to the 34-yard line. It was a high snap that Will Lang had to go and bring down, and Emmanuel Jones came up and made a nice catch on the low line drive and returned it 7 yards up to the 34-yard line. So yet another drive that Jones is going to begin inside of Pearl River territory. This is be the 3rd time tonight that Jones has started a drive in Pearl River territory, and on the first 2, they were able to cash in on both of those opportunities. So Stetson Bennett is checked back in at quarterback. He looks and he fakes the pitch backwards. They're going to throw. They're going to try to rub this one in down the right sideline, and is that catch made? Holy moly, what a throw, what a catch. It's another touchdown for Jones. That was a highlight reel type throw and catch. Bennett rolling to his right made a spectacular throw and an even better catch. And if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to look again. I thought that was Enrique Wally's number again. I mean, Pearl River had that pass blanketed on the one-on-one coverage, and Bennett somehow got it into the receiver, and somehow the receiver made the catch. So the Bobcat faithful that have made the trip down from Ellisville are having quite the time across the way here at Dobie Holden Stadium. And the Jones flags, after they score that they hold up, have gotten a workout tonight. 3:08 left to go. Pearl River trailing Jones 48-7. Back after this on PRCCmedia.com.
Southern Miss to the top. Let's go Eagles!
It's another exciting year as we support the Golden Eagle team.
We're all in for Southern Miss football.
How about you? You'll find the best teams for customer service and price at Pine Belt Chevrolet, Courtesy Ford, and Pine Belt Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. From tough trucks to your favorite SUVs to performance and fun, we're all in for you.
Back at Dobie Holden Stadium, and the annual cat fight is no longer a fight, as the white towel is kind of being thrown out there proverbially, I should say. Of course, Wildcats have not thrown in the towel, but what I mean by that is we are now in a running clock situation as the game has gotten outside of a 5-score contest. So the kick is away, fielded at the 19-yard line, back up to the 25, and across the 30, a nice return, picking his way forward up to the 32-yard line. Good job on the return. Trying to get a number for you, as it was kind of a scrum in there. But nonetheless, the Wildcats have the football on the 32-yard line. Ron Baker. Haven't seen him return a kick this season, I don't believe, but he was the one who made the return there. That's why I wasn't familiar with that number on the kick team. So 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line for Pearl River. And again, I tell you about the running clock because you'll see it in the corner. Some may wonder, wait a minute, why is it running? And so it's going to be kind of quick right here. And we get a timeout actually called by Pearl River. Now that will stop the clock. Again, be sure to be with us next week. From Southwest Community College, the Pearl River Wildcats will be on the road in a South Division matchup with the Bears. It'll be homecoming over in Summit, Mississippi, as the Wildcats will take on. That'll be a Saturday contest. Remember, all 3 of the remaining Wildcat broadcasts here on prccmedia.com will be on Saturdays. Kelly Sander will be back in his traditional play-by-play spot, and I'll move back over into the analyst chair as Coach Ted Egger and his Wildcats will take on the Bears next week. That'll be next Saturday. Again, this is the last Thursday night contest of the year for the Wildcats. Jones, with this victory, will move to 4-0 in South Division play, but they've got a couple of tough ones left. It's Colin and East Central left on the Jones schedule, but basically, depending on exactly how it pans out, but Jones has put itself in a position to really just need a split in those last couple of games, and they will probably grab one of those 2 coveted playoff spots in the South Division. Tavis Williams back to throw, and he is crushed in the backfield and dropped. How many times have we said that? Right around the second quarter, toward the end of the second quarter, and in the entire second half so far, Jones has dialed up the pressure, and it has found its way home almost every time. 2nd and 17. This will be the last play of the third quarter because of the running clock. Williams takes the snap. He'll give it to the tailback, and there's a little bit of room there. Back up to the 31-yard line as Ron Thompson finally gets a little bit of breathing room. He gets it back near the original line of scrimmage, and that's how the third quarter will come to an end. A third quarter that was, well, I don't think I'm overstating it, dominated by the Jones County Bobcats. A 28-point quarter has the Bobcats ahead 48-7. Back with the final quarter in just a moment here on prccmedia.com.
We want to thank you for quickly making Pine Belt Chevrolet one of the area's biggest dealerships. We're selling a lot of vehicles because you're finding out the best price and best service are right here. And during Truck Month, you get 18% off all 2018 Silverado 1500s, plus 90-day deferred payment, and 14% off all 2018 Tahoes, or choose from a big selection of certified pre-owned. New Pine Belt Chevrolet, Highway 98 West at Bellevue. Count on it.
I say this to give kudos to Jones. I know that most of you listening are Wildcat faithful, but how dominant of a third quarter was it? Not only was the scoreboard dominant at 28-0 in that third quarter, the Wildcats offense netted -8 yards in the entire quarter. Back to throw is Williams, looking under pressure, and guess what? He's sacked, and that will bring out the punting unit, I'm sure. We're in a running clock situation as Jones is just absolutely taking control of this football game. Whatever they said at the half, they need to duplicate it because it worked. Jones, on the other hand, showing their balanced attack, 203 yards on the ground, 183 through the air through three quarters for 391 yards. The last 2 quarters, Jones, 154 yards of offense in the second quarter. And in the third quarter, they topped that with 173. The punt is away. Catch is made, and at the 40, I was going to say, I thought he called fair catch, and that is Enrique Wally. Again, I believe Wally caught that touchdown pass a moment ago, and so in a short stretch of time, Wally not only got a sack out of the deal, he scooped and scored a punt from 23 yards out, You call it a punt because it did hit Lang's foot, so technically it was a punt. And then he has a touchdown reception. So again, 13-25 and counting. But that third quarter, one of the most dominant quarters that Jones will probably have all year. Oh, the ball's on the ground, and did Pearl River get it? No, they did not. Offensive lineman for Jones was able to literally plop down on top of that. So a 3-yard loss on the play. Second down and 13 after the mishandled handoff there. They've gone back to quarterback number 2 again, Fred Barnum. Barnum, 4 of 5 throwing, only for 8 yards. 4 of 5 throwing the football for 8 and 3 carries for 11 yards running the football. He'll give it. Boy, they keep Granberry in the game. This is, simply put, I'm not saying, if Granberry were to get hurt, the leading rusher in the entire state, he's already got 120 yards rushing, so he's over 700, probably will keep that number 1 slot. But I just don't know if you leave your top running back in the ball game in a 41-point game, but that's why I'm up here. Back to throw, and the catch is made. I'll tell you, again, I know you got, hey, if you want him to quit throwing, stop it. But in a 41-point ball game, throwing on third down in a running clock situation, no less, this will be one of those filed in the memory bank games for Coach Ted Egger. Coaches don't forget when they're thrown on down 41. Punting unit comes on as the Wildcats were able to stop the receiver after making the catch 5 yards short of the first down. Snap back, and the punt is on its way. Coming up and letting it go at the 20-yard line. Looked like he was going to come up and make that catch with Stringfellow, but he let it go, and it bounds forward just across the 20 to the 19-yard line as the clock continues to roll here with 11 minutes left to go. Take one more quick look at the Anderson Design Center scoreboard. I want to thank Alan Anderson and all the folks at Anderson Design Center just off Highway 98 in Hattiesburg. Boy, if you need flooring, area rugs, furniture, there's all kinds of things that Anderson Design Center has, and one of the best designed staffs that you can find in the entire state is just right up the road from Poplarville in Hattiesburg at Anderson Design Center. Alan Anderson, a former Wildcat. Back to throw, and actually that's Cooper Callis is checked in the ball game. So Cooper Callis getting his first action tonight. Completes a pass out for about a 6-yard pickup. First time we've seen Cooper Callis since the East Central ball game. Getting a little duty here in the fourth quarter. Second down and 4 at the 30-yard line. Callis, man in motion, coming across. He takes the high snap, then gets it to the running back, and he's forward for about a gain of 3 yards. Purnell needed 4 for the first down, so it'll be third down and about a yard. Mississippi Gulf Coast has extended its lead over Southwest as they are now at the half, 28-7 in that game. The Delta continues to lead Northeast 17-3 as that game moves into the third quarter. They give it to Purnell, and he is chopped down short of the first down. In fact, well back in the, excuse me, I apologize. I was looking down at the scores. They actually gave Purnell enough for the first down. He was, looked like he was about a quarter of a yard short. I apologize. Got to get these scores somehow. And I looked down, and the referees had given Purnell the first down a moment ago. So that was a first down run, and it's a 4-yard loss on first down back to the 25-yard line. So second down and 14 with 9 minutes left to go in the ball game. Low snap. Callis able to go down and get it. He's going to run. He's got some room. 30, 35, and he'll slide down at the 39-yard line. They actually give him all the way up to the 40 on a nice spot. A 15-yard pickup for Cooper Callis. And that's his longest run of the year. Came in with 16 carries for only 5 yards. But that one goes for 15 and a first down. Big game in the South Division is Colin at East Central. Colin leading that one 21-14 in the third quarter. Itawamba has gone ahead of Holmes in the third, 27-20. That ball's tapped at the line of scrimmage as Callis was trying to get it out to his intended receiver. Actually, it looked like Juan Nelson was his intended receiver right there. Incomplete, second down and 10. Clock still moving with 8 minutes left to go. Callis calls for the ball, looks to throw. Here comes Jones. He's going to tuck it and run to the far side of the field for some good yards. This time he goes for almost 15 more. Call it 14 on the carry, down to the 46-yard line. And again, you see that natural reaction of the referees as he went out of bounds, calling for the stoppage of the clock, but we're in a running clock situation because of the score, so it continues to roll as we're now at the midway point of the fourth quarter. Callis, hard count, didn't get anybody to jump. Now he looks over to get the real call. Ball just across the 50-yard line, 1st and 10 at the 46. Back to throw, nowhere to go with the football, so he throws it at the feet of his intended receiver. Donovan Hickman for an incompletion. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Update from the number 1 versus number 2 team in the country, and the number 1 team continues to stretch the lead, East Mississippi, and this is on the road at the number 2 team in the country. They're up by 3 touchdowns. East Mississippi leading Northwest 27-6, that game in the third quarter. Callis calls for the football, looks left to begin with, now tries to go right, and the next thing you know, he's swallowed under a trio of Bobcat defenders back at the 45-yard line. Another sack. Another sack recorded by the Bobcats. Approaching the 6-minute mark left to go. Again, Kelly Sander will be back with us next week. A Saturday ball game, evening. I believe that's a 5 o'clock kickoff in Southwest. Back to throw. They tried the little screen to the near side, but Jones, that's what you're supposed to do. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, and you might just get a batted ball, and that's exactly what happened. And on 4th down, Jones will send out the punting unit. And again, most likely that's because Coach Eggert knows that Jones is going to try to score again. Jones is taking on a little bit of an East Mississippi mentality as they were throwing the ball on 3rd down just a moment ago with a 41-point lead. Snap back, the punt is on the way, and the kick is received, and hit at the 20, but stays on his feet. Here comes at the 40, down to the 45-yard line goes Enrique Wally. Wally, who was in on a punt block attempt that got a little scoop and score return back in the third quarter. He was back as the regular return man right there, and he nearly broke one as a conventional punt return touchdown. But after getting hit immediately when he fielded the ball at the 20-yard line, he was able to shake off that initial contact and get a 24-yard return. So a nice return by Wally as he's still playing hard with less than 5 minutes left to go. And essentially, that's going to be about when this game's going to end, barring a timeout or an injury, because the clock is rolling. The give is to the tailback, who breaks it to the left, and now he's got some room back to the right. And is that, let me get that number. It is, wow, Kalen Granberry still in the ball game. Boy, that's interesting. That you would have your number 1 running back, the top rusher in the state, in a 48-7 ball game, still carrying the football. comments kept to self. A 19-yard pickup on the play as he's picking up garbage yards here. They'll give it to him again. Granberry will run it. He's hit hard at the 35-yard line and plows forward to the 33, so he give him 5 more on that carry. So Granberry, who was absolutely stuffed in the first half, 7 carries for 15 yards. That was it. That was all he had. Now, after that carry, let's get you the up-to-date numbers. He's got 145 yards rushing now on 16 carries. So first half, 7 carries for 15 yards. Second half, 9 carries for 130. And here he comes again. Follows his blockers, this time stacked up for just a gain of a yard as we're approaching the 3-minute mark left to go. But Granberry really putting some numbers on the board, as obviously it's important to some extent for the Bobcats to make sure he stays in that number 1 position in the state. Came in with 581 yards rushing. Is going to leave with somewhere in the 720, 730 range. And we get a flag on the play. Only our second flag of the entire second half. But remember, we've been in a running clock situation since I'm right around the 3-minute mark of the third quarter, so hasn't been as much time or as many plays run to get flags called. That was against Jones, so mark it back to the 38. It's 3rd down and 10 as the clock, kind of a formality now, running down with about 2 minutes left to go. Give it to Granberry again. He's got some room up to the 30-yard line. It'll be 4th down coming up. About a 7-yard pickup. So Granberry has now gone north of the 150 mark. 15 yards in the first half, and he's now at 153 for the ball game. Jones will go for it here on 4th down. Just a few more plays left to go, and this game will be over. And actually, if the Wildcats stop this play because of the change of possession, this might be the last play of the game. They'll give it to Granberry. Granberry breaks the tackle. He's got the 1st down and more as he's up to the 20-yard line, right around it, just outside. So they'll go 21-yard line to be exact. Give him 9 on the carry, and it's a 1st down, and we'll see. I would imagine they will. We'll see if Jones chooses to run another play. They don't have to. Well, theoretically, with the play clock, you would, if you didn't want a delay of game penalty, but because it's a running clock, you could take the delay and then just let the clock run out. But that's not what they're going to do, and that doesn't surprise me. They have shown that they're still looking for more. Pistol formation, give to Granberry. Who else? As he gets across the 20 to the 19-yard line, and again, if you get your running back hurt in this situation, you're answering that for the rest of the year. But I guess when he doesn't get hurt, nobody remembers. And that should be the last play of the ball game, as the play clock has been turned off and the Jones players are lined up on the sidelines ready to come across. And now they will finally call off the Dogs. Final score here tonight from Dobie Holden Stadium, not fun for the home team, as Jones County, the number 7 team in the country, played like it. Scores 48-7. We'll be back to wrap things up after this short timeout here on PRCCmedia.com. So back from W. Holden Stadium on a Breast Cancer Awareness Night. There's a lot of pink being worn by not only the players but the fans and the coaching staff of the Wildcats. But unfortunately, while that is obviously a worthy cause to commemorate and to celebrate, is the breast cancer survivors and the ones fighting that disease on the field. The fight was all from one side after about a quarter and a half to or a half of play. The Jones County Bobcats win it by a final score of 48-7. The Wildcats had cut the lead in half in the second quarter to 14-7, but Jones on the very next possession was able to answer that touchdown with one of their own. Got their extra point block, so went into the half at 20-7. But the third quarter was the watershed quarter. I mean, the whole game basically was decided in that third quarter of play as Jones scored 3 offensive touchdowns and 1 special teams touchdown and was able to rack up just under 200 yards of offense in that third quarter, while PRCC had, well, it's hard to get less than 0, but they did. They had -8 in that third quarter, as it was as dominant of a quarter as the Jones Bobcats will play all season long. The win moves Jones to 5-1 on the season, but more importantly for them, a perfect 4-0 now in South Division play, while the Pearl River Wildcats are still looking for their first victory of the season. Kelly Sander will be back in his rightful spot in the play-by-play seat next week. It'll be Saturday. Remember, mark your calendars. The Thursday games are no more. It'll be Saturday contest from here moving in, as the Wildcats will be the guest for Two People's Homecoming and the host for a homecoming of their own, as Pearl River will be on the road next week against Southwest. That game set for a 5 o'clock kickoff. We'll be with you just shortly before kickoff with the Pawpaws Campers and Cars pregame show. And then it'll be on to Pearl River Wildcat football. Kelly Sander and myself, David Sutton, will bring it to you. I want to thank all the folks here on the media side of things at Pearl River for helping bring you tonight's live streaming broadcast. And for all of them, and this is David Sutton saying good night from Poplarville, where Jones was just the better team. They win it by a final score of 48-7. We'll see you next week from Summit.